Welcome to this week's Codecast. And I was talking to some friends of mine the other day in the industry, and we were talking about training and getting people to classes and all of that. And of course, I understand most of y'all are really busy this time of the year, and training's kind of like on the bypass because you can't really keep up with inspections. And it reminds me of some things that happened in the past. I mean, history tends to repeat itself. I remember when the boom was going on and everybody was just busy, 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 busy. And then all of a sudden the bust happens. And when the bust happened, of course, everybody, guess what? Had all these people and no inspections to do. Contract, everything slowed down. And I can remember one day I was sitting in class down in Orlando and out of the blue at lunchtime, went outside and there was a gentleman sitting on the desk there and he said, John, he said, I just lost my job down in Florida. I said, really? He said, yeah. And he said, I'm looking for a job. I really need to go to work. And I said, what happened? I said, well, they laid me off. We didn't have enough work for everybody. So eventually the county started laying off people. And I asked him, I said, so what kind of certifications do you have? He said, well, I got commercial building. And I looked at him, I said, really? I said, what else? And he said, well, that's all I got is commercial building. I said, you don't have mechanical, plumbing, electrical? No, I don't have that. And I'm thinking to myself, I said, this poor old guy really doesn't have a chance to get the job done. And brings me to an old story. A lot of building inspectors and a lot of jurisdictions said, well, all you need is building. You're a single trade inspector. You don't need mechanical, plumbing, electrical, any of the other trades. You don't need accessibility, housing rehab, electrical. And that's what we hired you for. I've heard private companies also say that. Well, we hired you as a building inspector. We didn't hire you as a cross-trained inspector. And of course, the building inspectors like yourself a lot of times just sit there and say, okay, that's all I need to get from a job. That's all I'm going to do. But if the economy turns around again, and guess what? The jurisdictions are going to keep the multi-trade inspectors like they did before. So I always tell people, I said, you need to go get as many of these certifications as you can. I mean, this is an industry. This is your profession. I mean, the profession is you need to know a little bit about everything. More about everything is even better. It's kind of interesting. I know like Florida has 14 hours of CEUs every year. South Carolina has 24. I don't believe it's enough. Sometimes I think you need more than 24 hours. And most of the inspectors I see, well, we just get what we got to have. That's it. So to you, you need to go to as many of these certs as you can. These certs go all the way across the country. I got other countries begging for people with certifications now. Now I understand that, money's money and you got to go where the money's at some point. But of course, guess what? To get you there, these certifications count. And we're talking about ICC certifications. Now, one of the other interesting things I heard, one of the building officials told me one time, he said, well, if I get this guy and he gets more certifications, he's going to leave me. If I train him and get him more certifications, he's going to leave me. And I remember an old wives' tale from years ago, and it says, what happens if you don't train him and he stays? So it's kind of a double-edged sword to train people. I know when I had my inspection company years ago, before I sold it, we had a philosophy. We give every inspector $2,500 training budget every year. Now that $2,500 not went on into the class and ICC test and some of the other things that went on, but it also went to travel and hotels and all that. And I got a new inspector in there, and he needed all these certifications, and he needed this, and he needed that. So we let him a lot of training classes, send him to, he got 4 or 5 certs a year from ICC, the whole 9 yards. Now, as he grew up into the industry and he got most of the certs, of course, he still needs that training. I still allowed that $2,500 because now they want to go to the building official conference. They want to go over to this training like for floodplain. They want to go somewhere else for something else. I mean, it wasn't necessarily our classes they were going to. They were going to other classes. I remember I took one of my plan readers down to a hydrogen conference one time. We used his $2,500 that year. I'm going to like for hydrogen fuels and cars and all that, because the more we knew, the better we could do our jobs. So in closing, basically, you need to get all this education. You need to get all the certifications. YouTube, like we're doing right now, I'm training you right now on what to do. So the more education you get, the more, how can I say, markable you are. See you next week.